Hi guys, welcome back to Doug's Basic Workshop, and again we're here back in the big red barn because we're here full time. Good news guys, we're all set up, I am living here full time. The folks are just starting to move into the farmhouse now. So I had a weed whacker that Dad wanted to borrow because it was cordless and he didn't want to have to drag power cords around the yard. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, as we all know. And he thought mine was just horrible. It was a Black & Decker. It's 5 years old. His issue with it was the batteries didn't last very long, which is understandable. It's a 5-year-old tool. Even though I do store my batteries indoors, I don't store them outside in the heat of the summer and the freezing cold of the winter. I try to do my best to take care of batteries so they last a long time. So he was at Home Depot and he found the cordless Ryobi weed whacker. And this thing kind of rocks, guys. Now this is my second shot at this video. The first time I did it, it was a week ago, and we had such a mosquito problem here on the property that I think I ate 6 mosquitoes during the video, and I spit 3 of them out. I may have been spitting out 2 or 3 at a time, honestly. My girlfriend watched the video in editing, and she was like, I can't watch this. It's hilarious to watch you spitting out mosquitoes and swatting them off your face the whole time. But she said, you just can't do it. So, I don't want you guys to think that this is my initial thoughts on the machine. I've actually had it for a couple of days now. We've used it quite a few times, and we're pretty thrilled with it. This is it. Now, I've got to tell you guys, honestly, I've made some corrections to it since my assembly and my very first video. Apparently, there is a front and a back to the shield. I had originally ripped up Ryobi in the first part of the video because as I was weed whacking, you had to cut from the side, and it was covering me with grass and weeds and chunks of material. Apparently, this thing doesn't lock on in just one direction. You can twist it for different orientations depending on what you're doing. Okie dokie. I fully admit I messed that one up. My second problem with this was I couldn't find the screws to screw this piece on. About 2 seconds before I called the Ryobi, I realized there was something stuck to the weed cutter piece right here. What was stuck to the weed cutter piece was the black screws in a clear plastic bag. Ryobi, a white screw, white bag, a colored sticker on there would have made life a whole lot easier. Black on black on black in a clear bag. I didn't stand a chance of finding those parts in an easy manner. And nowhere that we saw in your directions did it tell us where to find those screws. Kind of frustrating, guys. I do love the Ryobi weed eater head. I'll pull it off here in a minute and I'll show it to you. And I'll show you the attachment head that came with it. The little plastic weed eater of death tool. And I think that you guys have someone in your organization with some real anger problems towards weeds. Because that other cutter head is a malicious, deadly weapon that you should probably have to get a license to operate. That thing cut through things that were ridiculously big, things that the string would never cut through. That little plastic weed of death machine was awesome. Absolutely loved it, especially when we were cutting out some of the new growth trees coming up under all the pines out back. Came in really, really handy. So this is the battery that came with my drill. It's the 18-volt lithium battery. And I love this. Please remember, guys, the blue stuff is the girlfriend's. We don't tell her that we're using her tools and abusing them in these torture tests that we've been doing. So blue tape, not my tool. So this lasted 45 minutes, almost exactly 45 minutes. Now, the day that I did this, I had gotten this battery with the Weed Whacker, and I didn't know it came with the battery and a new charger. Real exciting for us because we're new to the Ryobi power tool line with all the batteries and stuff. So really cool to get another battery and to get one of the heavy duty batteries. And I just love pushing people's buttons, and they gave me a button to push. It lights up. How cool! So yeah, it lights up, tells you what the battery strength is. Kind of a cool feature, probably draws my battery down a little bit more. But I haven't had a chance to use that yet. We did throw it on the Sawzall the other day, and it worked really well in the Sawzall, cutting up some wood to throw into the fire pit. So that worked really well for us. We're anxious to try it on the Weed Whacker. The weight isn't a big difference in the weight. We did find that the Weed Whacker wasn't that heavy to carry. At first, my opinion was the Weed Whacker was so light that it felt a little cheap and chintzy in my hand. But the more I used it, the more I banged it into stuff and drove it into the ground a couple of times, accidentally. I didn't have any real problems with it. And if you look at it, it's pretty dirty, pretty beat up. You know, this is one day's use on it. And we kind of really beat it up. We ran through 2 batteries the first day. Liked it. Like it a lot, guys. The string. Now this is kind of a cool little thing here. The string has these little notches. So when you take it out to switch heads, the string doesn't come unraveled. Very exciting. Ryobi, bonus for that guy. After we get the guy who invented this into anger management classes. This is the Ryobi's spinner weed of death machine that clicks on, which is kind of cool. Once you have the other piece off, you just push it and click it in. And it really works well. And this thing cuts through everything. I absolutely love this attachment. I don't know if I want to run it all the time. They did give you 2 of them. I don't know what the lifespan is on one of these. But from what I saw, I haven't broken, chipped it, or nicked it, taken any parts of it off. And I ran it for a good 20 minutes cutting through probably bigger stuff than I was supposed to cut it through with it. Absolutely loving it. One of the things I don't like about this is the edger attachment, or the edger feature. Apparently, you're supposed to step on this little pedal here, and the head spins sideways. It's got a little wheel. You can roll it for edging sidewalks. Maybe if you live in a postage stamp yard, or you have an environment where you need to have your yard look like that, then it's great. I live in a hick town. I have no sidewalks in front of my house. I know the farm, and there's no sidewalks at all here. So I guess for my environment, my setting, kind of a worthless attachment. But, you know, maybe someday it'll come in handy for something. No clue. I like it. I like the fact the grips adjust on it. Dad and I both like the handles of different lengths. So we actually are going to mark it off with a silver Sharpie. So we can just slide it back and forth depending on who's picking it up to use it. I don't like the feeder option where you have to have a safety here. Safeties are fine, and the trigger, but something to do with squeezing them at the right increment or the right way. Maybe once I figure that out, it feeds the string. You don't tap to feed. I miss tap to feed. I'm old. I've always had tap to feed on weed whackers. I really miss that feature. I wish that Ryobi would give us an option on that. Either the automatic or a tap to feed. I'd rather have tap to feed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Are you a tap to feed? Or do you have one of these that has the automatic feeder on it? What do you guys think about it? Okay guys, I think that's about it for this. I'm going to go out and do some more torture testing with it. I'm going to try to shoot some video. I don't know if it's going to come out or not. That'll be at the end of this with a little bit of some fun music that I find on YouTube's free music list. So, if this is it guys, have a great day. Like, subscribe, join me again next time. We'll be talking about some other stuff. And if there is some more after this video, if there's a few more minutes, it is the weed eater actually working out there and showing you how the different attachments I use and what I use them for. Alright guys, have a great day. I'll see you later. Well guys, I did end up doing a little weed whacker time today. We did break the weed whacker of death. We chipped off one of the teeth on the foundation, on a concrete foundation. Apparently the weed whacker of death attachment is inefficient and inept at cutting concrete. We did get a chance to beat the brand new battery up quite a bit. The tester doesn't even come on. It was 32 minutes with the weed eater of death attachment on high. The weed eater of death doesn't seem to work well on low, so something to keep in mind when you're picking out which heads you want to use on a project or for your yard. I did throw the string back on because I brought both of them with me today. And of course you see with the blue tape one, we know what that means. And this battery lasted 29 minutes on high. I'm sorry, 20 minutes. 20 minutes on high with the string attachment. We were cutting pretty thick stuff. We weren't cutting regular yard weeds. You know guys, you got a real winner of a girlfriend when you get a new tool and she says, you can come to my house and play with it and try it out. That's a keeper right there, guys. Any woman who will let you come over and play with your tools at their house, there's a good one for you guys. Alright, thanks for coming over. Thanks for watching today. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.